Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I am Ajuna Sharawat, anchor at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform for industry titans to share their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices in order to inspire one another and future leaders. In a nutshell, we attempt to encapsulate the multi-decadal learnings acquired by these industry leaders. We also hope that by conducting these interviews, we can bring together a global community of eminent personalities. By bringing together such visionaries on one platform, we hope to play a part in inspiring the lives of other leaders. Great learnings from great leaders undoubtedly assist everyone by identifying, nurturing, and using the trade secrets that are proven success formulae for many. And this is what we aim to make these sessions a gathering of leaders and a knowledge-sharing community. We have one such leader on FaceTime with Leaders with us today, Sumit Ghosh. With a total of 2-decade-long experience in the sales and distribution field, Sumit has worked with Fortune 100 Pan-India and SAARC MNCs and has given his invaluable contributions to the insurance sector. For his exceptional work, Sumit has also been honored with national awards in categories like recruitment, case rate, persistence, people development, promotion of agents and employees, and so on. Sumit has held many senior positions, namely branch manager, regional manager, zonal manager, in the band of manager, senior manager, assistant vice president, and vice president. Currently, Sumit is working with BitGenix Technologies Private Limited as a co-business head, formulating strategies, planning, and implementation of blockchain and crypto learning in India. Welcome, Sumit, to FaceTime with Leaders.
Thank you. Thank you, Ajuna, for the nice introduction.
Our honor and pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you.
Please let us know, with your 20 plus years of experience, you have a great exposure to various aspects of finance and economics. How do you think it has led to your professional excellence?
Oh, it's a long journey. It's a long history. I mean, in fact, I was pursuing my studies in economics, and while doing my master's, because I was always wanted to be a business person, but as from a family of a bankers, I had never been, encouraged to do the business. So I was pursuing my studies. While pursuing my master's in economics, and as a subject, the economics, I liked it while doing my graduation and the master's. So I was liking it into that because to some extent that subjects really addresses the social challenges, really helps to develop a country. So I came across an opportunity. I dropped the final semester and took up the first job because once I have not been encouraged from the family to pursue the business career, so better do something into the business development role into the corporate, that where I need to do the business, but on behalf of somebody. But over the period of a time, that was, you can say, a kind of an coincidence. But over the period of a time into my corporate journey, I had really found that whatever we had been taught into the subject, that how actually that really works into the day-to-day life of a business. So over the period of a time, once I just got through that, why? Because we, as a student of economics, we used to study that how the different taxes been formulated, how the macroeconomic policy been formulated. There are all the statistics, there are all the, econometrics, calculations and everything. But once we are into the business, then actually we have got through that, what is this particular calculations and why this taxation, how this taxation. So gradually, it really developed a passion. And frankly speaking, after this 2 decade plus of a career, I can really understand what is the meaning of economics and the finance. Not as a student, though we had, that particular things was never been clear.
It's always the work experience which teaches us the most.
Exactly.
Like there is a saying also, when I do, I learn the most.
Absolutely.
You tell me,
absolutely.
I'll remember or something. You make me do, I'll understand.
I still remember, because I was the university, fresher. So I still remember my first final round of an interview when I was expecting that they will be asking some job related questions. So obviously from my known circle and everything, I was just asking that what question I should face, because all these initial rounds were cleared. So into the final round of an interview, I had been bombarded with all the theoretical questions from my subject, from my domain. So I just got surprised that why these are things been asked. Now, today I can correlate that particular incident, that how that is very relatable, that theory is totally relatable into the day-to-day practice, because once you are very much clear fundamentally, that theory you are very much clear to, then you can always relate it to the practical. So the resistance and everything. So you will never ever, just for an example, if there is a price hike of a product, so you know that why that price hike is really important for the organization, that it is not just going against the organization. So that's really helps this particular experience, this particular, that when GST came into force, because earlier it was VAT and all the service taxes. So being a student of economics, I can really understand the philosophy behind implementation of the GST. Why? Because earlier it was a very difficult scenario in terms of the taxation. Interstate business was a difficult thing. There was C form, A form, there are a lot of forms were there pre-GST era. So there is a understanding about the subject. So I always feel that yes, this professional, even if I would have done my PhD, I would not have a better clarity of the subject, that economics and finance, until I do have this practical experience.
Absolutely. I would also like to know, did you always had a knack for what you were doing? I know you said that you were always interested in business, but did you also have a knack for what you're doing, or did you develop it in your professional journey?
To be very honest, it was coincidence that yes, I got the opportunity because I wanted to do the business, not been encouraged by the family. So then there was something in between, the stopgap management kind of a things. But over the period of a time, I really developed a knack of impacting the people. That is the things which my professional journey had really developed within me. And as a byproduct of that particular development, I become a natural mentor. I am also a professional mentor, been associated with so many global organizations where I do mentor the international students, the business mentor. Because of my first 5 years of a journey, because initially I had never ever thought about, because my academics were very supportive in terms of getting a teaching professions role. And in fact, my family wanted to pursue me that particular career, but I never ever found that's very interesting because it's altogether, I normally get bored out of the teaching profession because the same things I have to do again and again and again every. But during my initial days of the career, I have seen that whomsoever is the successful professional, there are somebody. And that time, I would say, Arjuna, the mentor word was not very much popular. But over the period of a time, I have seen that behind all successful people, not irrespective of the male and female, there are somebody who is actually a mentor. And mentor is an unique personality, unique traits of a person that where they are not master of any particular subject. They are not subject experts. But I mean, it's a chemistry. Once we know that the chemical reaction doesn't happen unless until there is a catalyst. So actually the mentor acts like a catalyst for a turnaround of a professional, or for that matter, not only why professionals, for any human being. Now, sometimes that's me, somebody, I mean, the mentor's job, sometimes the spouses do, sometimes the parents do, sometimes some of the friends do. It has nothing to do with that somebody, I mean, if you want to be a mentor, you need to be a great professional experience, or it is the things I feel a mentor should have a good intent. So over the period of a time, I have seen that how can I have a sustainable career? I was a very selfish guy that I was looking for that, yes, how can I have a long-term sustainable career for myself? And once you just analyze these things, there are different factors. That's your credibility. I mean, on which particular parameter you will focus more or you will invest more. I found that one factor is the knowledge, and another is there where it is worth to invest for my long-term sustainability into the career, into the profession, is nothing but on the people. So gradually I started, I mean, developed some kind of an interest working on not so-called performer, let them transform to a performer. So that is the way that initial challenges and everything, when some of the employees, some of the case studies are there are a lot of case studies that somebody are on the verge of, I mean, losing the job due to the non-performance, and I have transformed them. Because it was something that challenges that, yes, okay, I mean, into the business development role, there are always the business growth, market share, and all these things are my job. So that I have to deliver. I don't have any option into that, into the career, because I'm into that role, into the revenue generation role. But if I can impact, so there that how many schemes, how many facilities, how many man hours I can devote. But if I can impact a person, a people, then it can give you a 10x or 20x, or I can say the infinite level of results. So from there, I started developing. So this is actually my professional career's gift, that today I am a mentor. And not only that, just to add this particular things, during the COVID, 6, they are quite junior to me, age-wise, experience-wise. They started their career. I was the first, I mean, line manager, not the immediate manager, even the skip level. So they had experienced my style of working and everything at the very beginning of, because they were the freshers from just passed out from the colleges. They approached me during the lockdown that, sir, why you can start an organization? I said, I don't have that much of money and everything, so I cannot really. So they said, we all are there because we are all into the multinational companies working, but the kind of value system, the style of operation we used to experience while working with you, that is somewhere missing. So we want, why don't we have an organization where you lead? And that's actually motivated me to start an Section 8 company, the not-for-profit organization. It's a 15 months old baby, but yes, successfully it is doing fantastic. We have got the invitation from the C20 initiative, which is a part of G20 initiative. And not only that, one of the climate project, that particular project is on the environment. That paper has been initially accepted internationally. So we may got the invitation to present that things in front of the G20 forum. And in longer term, that may be part of the policy decision. So this particular things is the entire credit goes to my professional career. So today I'm in the rest of the world, professional world, I'm been known as a good mentor, not, other than a good boss or something, but people always say that he's a good mentor. My junior colleagues, they even approach with their kids. Sir, please guide that how you can, because your one word can really, really change. So that's I have developed, because I have experienced that if you work on the people, that give you the best return.
Absolutely. So wonderfully put forward. And I really like the way you said that mentors are actually the catalyst.
Yes.
And being a science student, I know like catalyst in how many reactions, how effective catalysts have been. So, and yeah, it's really inspiring. So now I know which of the job roles you enjoy the most, which was going to be my next question. But you've actually said, and now I can guess it's being the mentor. But still, I will ask you, which is the job role you enjoyed the most? And could you also state some obstacles that you would have found, and how did you overcome them? How did you deal with it?
So as the span of career is so long, so obviously it is not only one incident, but yes, out of this, the challenges, because I had since last 30 years, I am into the revenue generating role. So all, you can say it's always a challenges, because no organization, and you even as a business development personnel, as a business head or unit head, you will never be happy with your performance. You will always try to beat your previous performance. So that is always there. So the challenges is part of the job, right? Because I always say the business development personnel are just like the commandos, just like the men in uniform without the uniform, because they should have that kind of an traits, quality, challenging things. But there are some assignments where really, I feel I really nourish that, yes, I could accomplish that particular things, because there were two incidents. One, when I was into a very junior position, and I approached to my general manager. I was very close to my general manager. So I approached to him that why don't we start our sub countries operation? So as he knew me from my very beginning, when I was just a junior manager, so he knew me since long. So initially he didn't, but you better concentrate to our Indian operation. You don't have to do all these things. But I was quite persistent, and then finally, somehow convinced him and he put up into the board of directors. Somehow the chairman, he found something fruitful and something promising into that particular proposal. And he asked my general manager that you have never ever, proposed this kind of a project. We could have started earlier. And then he said that it is your proposal or somebody has insisted you to propose this thing. So he was just, hesitating that he doesn't know that because I was so junior. So he said, it is actually a brainchild of Sumit. He said, next board meeting, ask him to be part of that. So he was so scared. So he was just telling Sumit, you don't be aggressive, this, that, you just listen what the chairman sir is saying and everything. Because when I was into the part of the board meeting, obviously not at the front row, I cannot, because all the directors were there. So I was into the second line. And when the Mr. Chairman just asked that, okay, Sumit, Subhash has already, my general manager name was Subhash Ramchandran. Subhash has already briefed us about the project. Now, I would like to understand in detail why you want to, explore the SAARC countries. So I explained in detail, right from pricing, production, and everything, all like this. There was a vigorous protest from the finance team. The finance director protested that it's a loss-making proposition. So I was ready with that. And I made the entire board understand that this particular operation will give us more profitability compared to our Indian operation. So I got that particular, I was young that time. It was very, good that once the chairman sir has had given his green signal to go ahead, but then the actual challenges start coming. Because from the other department, I found into the entire organization till the time the SAARC countries operation was not been successful, it was always a challenges from the other department, because into the entire organization, only the two persons were favoring that particular project, Mr. Chairman and my GM, and he was always used to, Sumit, both of us has to find the job into other organization. I know. So I always, just ensured him, no, sir, we will get the promotion in this organization itself. So after almost 18 months, because right from exploring into a new market, and the market and all the SAARC countries market are altogether different markets. Bhutan's behaves in a different way and Nepal behaves in another way. The Bangladesh behaves in a different way. There are different taxation. There are different currency ratios. All these challenges were there. We had to set up, because being into that, the snack food, we couldn't export the material from the Indian base because of the huge transportation cost and everything. So we had to set up the manufacturing base over there. So altogether, I was almost, you can say, a single-man army. The only support function was my general manager and my chairman. So that was, and after almost 18 months, when we got a huge profit, the organization made a good amount of a profit, the product being accepted into the market, I got a bigger team to support and everything. It was an amazing, and I still remember into the annual award ceremony, I had been awarded, because that was not into the regular category of the award. So when I haven't found any of my name, because all the regular award category has been finished, the announcement has been finished. So I was just getting frustrated sitting at the audience that, I did so much and everything. So I got a special award that was a critics award, which has been given from the board of directors. So it was an amazing, and I still remember the chairman, sir, into his speech, that this is the person, he is now 30 odd years of an age, very, very young, but I cannot see him in future as a manager, but I can see him as a business leader because he is having a vision. He lives on a vision. So I can see a future business. So that's a really, really, I mean, it's all together. I mean, I was 30. So you can imagine, I mean, how many years back. So that was a experience. And the second experience, when I was into the topmost, I was heading the #1 office of the India. And all of a sudden, there is a call from CEO that, Sumit, you have to assume the last number of office. From the comfort of a metro city to a B category city. I had never been into that city. And he just told me one thing, that don't consider this is a punishment transfer or something. This is something we trust you. We trust on your capability, because if you fail, in that case, we have to shut down that particular office. So are you ready to? And that personal, in my family life, that time it was so challenging. My daughter was appearing, she was in just past the 10th standard. So I cannot really, I mean, move my family. My son was into 8th standard. So it was so challenging, but still I accepted. And once I've been there, I still remember the moment directly from the airport, I was entering to the office, the entire staffs were there. They were standing just like that. They are standing in a firing squad. That somebody has come from the head office and we are getting fired because they knew it. Right from the office boys, right from the support staff, everybody.
Which city was this? Which
Pardon?
place was this? Which place was
Nagpur. This was Nagpur.
Nagpur. Wow,
Nagpur.
Center of the country.
So from Mumbai, I landed up Nagpur, right straight away from airport to the office. So it was early in the morning. Everybody was into the gloomy phase, so serious phase. So I just entered. I addressed the entire team. The very first word I still remember I uttered, can I have a cup of tea? Because I left my home at very, very early in the morning. So can I have a cup of tea? And then I said, why are you so tense? Nothing is going to happen if all of you are with me. Exactly after 30 days, I got a call from the CEO office. Sumit, what is your feedback? Can we revive or we should close down the show? My reply was, sir, this particular office is having the potentiality, the staffs are having the potentiality, and it is my responsibility that if I have come over here, it is not only my employee, the entire economy, right from the tea vendor to the stationery suppliers, for all the stakeholders, all are dependent on this particular activities, on this office. So it is my challenge. I will make it. I have taken 1.5 years of a time. And within that, this office will be. That office is still there. You won't believe I'm being still invited by the security guard. Sir, please do come whenever you come to the Nagpur. And this particular NGO, all the 6 staffs were the part of that office. So they had seen me that in 18 months of my tenure, not a single day my family had visited into that. Day in, day out, I was just working, and I always used to tell all of them why we should be successful, not because of our own job, but so many people are dependent on our success. If we fail, how they are going to support to their families. So these are the two incidents. I mean, so I will always remember into my career.
Beautiful, beautiful indeed. Absolutely. This is again an example of how you have taken interest in people and
Exactly.
followed your philosophy. Now we would like to know, when did you develop an interest in ESG? I know it was always there because it's about people. Again,
Yeah. See, it is once again, it starts about the CSR. Because when we started the career, there was no concept of CSR and everything. I was a little bit inclined towards social activities. When we were the students, we had our blood donation club and everything. So I was into that. Even my family was into that particular different social activities. CSR concept, when it comes, because it's more of a regulatory in nature, you can say it is in letters, not in spirit. In today's day also, today also, people just think that how much tax I can save through CSR activities. It is not, and after 15 months of being associated into that particular sector, not-for-profit organization sector, I can see it is not reaching to the last level who actually deserves that particular portion of the societies. No doubt, somebody is doing fantastic, but not in that way. Then the recent ESG concept has come. People are talking about. Now, the first and foremost things is why I am talking, because CSR was the first step. Because to understand the ESG, we must understand that why the CSR initiative being taken. Because if this ESG, CSR activities, the corporate governance would have been there long back, India would not have witnessed the Bhopal tragedy. Because we all were into the school days, you must be into the nursery or KG. We were into our, I think, 9th standard or 8th standard. We used to write the essay into our exams, the Bhopal gas tragedy. It was so. We could have avoided. So there are so many tragedies all across the globe. Why ESG I liked? Because that particular very concept is all about not segregating the business objective from your social objective. CSR, sometimes you may perceive that it is something, an extra burden on my business activities. But ESG is defined in such a manner, and if it is being practiced, it's actually impact the business profitability. It is not an extra burden. It is an inclusion of all the factors. So that is because, see, ultimately the business, we all know the definition of the business is, what is the motive of a business? To make profit. So there is no debate into that, because that has to be. But how can we have a sustainable business growth once we are not ignoring some of the major stakeholders into that business? So there, the governance is not being taken as a regulatory framework. The governance is something like that, that unless and until the right governance is there, there is a possibility of losses. We cannot. Why the society to be included, to be considered? Because that's having, and that generates an economic value. There is a, long debate in India and worldwide, obviously, but in India it is more, that why the housewives contribution to a family doesn't have an economic value? And I always been bombarded that question from my wife. Because by choice, she is a housewife. So I had always been bombarded by that particular question, that why my contribution doesn't have an economic value. So that is what some kind of a sense we are getting, that once we are having the social inclusion, we are considering the society as one of the business stakeholder, we are focusing on there that why we should take care of the society. Why should we take care of the environment? ESG is basically for the long-term interest, not for the short-term interest. It is not for my generation, it is for the generations to come. So that's the way that ESG is a fantastic, but yes, Arjuna, there is a point of concern, the level of awareness. Forget about the common people, even if we just go for a poll amongst the corporate citizen also, how many people are aware about this ESG? Because unless and until the last employee of the corporate world knows the value, knows and practice ESG in true spirit, the very purpose of ESG is not going to be served, or not going to give us the results what we are looking for. We have said, I mean, internationally, we have said the goal by 2030, 2040. All these things will be just a definition into the books, that all this carbon credit, carbon emission and everything. So that is okay, that is for the corporate. But once I come back to my home, I will not segregate the garbages, the dry waste or the small waste. I will not switch off my lights. I will not change my behavior. So that is not going to happen. So that's the way ESG, yes, I mean, it's a fantastic things. And again, I got a good support, good platform rather, this C20 initiative, the G20 initiative, because by virtue of that particular platform, I am meeting and interacting with so many international experts. And it's really an eye-opener for me that in different countries, the kind of work is happening on ESG. So it's amazing, it's nothing to do with the corporate. It is into the micro level. It is impacting the people's life. There are different lifestyle habits, even how the technology is playing a big role into that. So that's really a fantastic initiative. I think we can change, we can see a change into the corporate world globally, because that's the good part of this, because now more and more international community we have started. It may take 50 years, 60 years, 100 years. We won't be there at that point of a time. We are not going to witness. But yes, people have started thinking about one world, one nation kind of a concept. So that's the part, because that is the need of the hour. We don't have it. The human race doesn't have any choice. Like today, a kid also knows that whomsoever is fighting, whichever country is fighting with each other, nobody is going to use the nuke. That a kid also knows, because if one country uses the nuke, the world will come to an end. So ESG is such kind of an initiative. We are going towards one world, one nation. We are working towards the humanity. So that's the way I developed the interest. I think that, yes, we should take, yes, the concern area of concern is the awareness. It has to be, because maybe if you just ask 10 different people, everybody will just Google what is ESG. So that's the level of awareness is there. But yes, it's no doubt a good initiative, and lot of works have to be done into this area.
Absolutely. Now, from ESG to technology. So, what changes have you seen with the advent of technology in your field?
A great question related to my heart, because I'm from that particular generation when into the corporate, forget about my school or college days. When there was used to communicate into the physical memo, the physical letter, physical instruction and everything. From there, I am witnessing the ChatGPT arena. I had always been a pro technology, an early adopter. Now, there are both, I mean, for anything, there are good, there are brighter side, there are darker side, that always happens. How do you take it? It's up to you. Especially last 20 plus years, I have been into the BFSI sector, especially into the insurance sector. The technology has really impacted the industry in a much higher level of customer satisfaction, higher level of, now let's say if I consider the AI into the insurance, if I consider the data analytics into the insurance, as a customer, as a layman, what this technology really helped that industry is to develop the most customer-centric product, to deliver, or rather the giving the best of the best customer services to the customer, penetration, market penetration of the insurance product, and not only insurance product, the entire BFSI sector has been, you can say, they are the beneficiary of this cutting edge technology. We all had experienced that how much time it used to take to withdraw the money. And even if it has been, there are weekend and there are some public holidays, you got stuck. And from there, we all know that how do we transact from our account in terms of, we had seen the ATM, after the ATM today, we are all this net banking facilities, the mobile applications and everything. So that is there. And when I just presented recently the particular project, it is on the environment. We had given the name of that particular project as Hirava. Now, Hirava in Marathi, it means green. Now, that project that has been initially been accepted, I don't know, I mean, how it is going to be accepted into the final round of policy matter. This particular very concept is all about that, like our own children, because right now the environment and everything, tree plantation, people just go plant the tree and we just forget where we had planted the tree and what is the fate of that particular tree. So this concept is all about of adopting, not the adopting, it is something you treat that particular tree just like your own kids. Because today, if a person, if people are celebrating the pet's birthday, if there are pets cafe, if the pet are having the nickname, why not that particular tree? So the date of plantation will be considered as the birthday every year that will be celebrated. Not only that, just like a newborn baby, there is a health card. That how the tree is growing, right? And that is into the personal, I mean, the public domain, from where the researchers, the government body, they can have the data that how much oxygen has been emitted, how much carbon dioxide been absorbed, what is the benefit and everything. So all this data analytics and AI will be, and there is a mobile apps for that particular custodian of that particular tree. So that is the gist of that particular project, and they liked it. And I got the compliment for that particular project from the University of California, that they said that you are trying to bridge the gap between AI and EI. Because AI is going to give us the data, but you are adding the EI into that particular ecosystem so that the sustainability should be there. Because ultimately, the human being is going to, control the entire things. Not the AI can supersede our AI. So there was the things. So that is the way this particular technology is really, really going to help. But again, the hindsight is, in India, we are the Indians, you can say, because I have seen when into my corporate journey, into my professional career also, we always believe into the shortcut. We are not a very, very process-driven community. Now, if you will see that the kind of engagement into the social networking of the Indian population, how much people are taking the benefit for eradicating the education or eradicating the poverty, taking the help of the technology. Let's take an example. And if you will go into the rural belt, you will find there is a huge gap. You ask anybody, do you have WhatsApp? Yes, I do have. Do you have smartphone? Yes, I do have. But you just ask, do you know how to work into the Google space? Do you know how to just make some of the slides or the PPT? I don't know. And forget about the rural belt. Once I find some of the junior most employee, they don't know how much, how to write a professional mail or most of the functions of a software. So that's simply a lack of interest, because they cannot find their opportunity into that. Now, we are because by virtue of this particular technology, we can create this beautiful platform. If it would have been the earlier days, it was not possible, because sometimes it was the cost don't allow that kind of a platform, or the distance, so many things are there. You won't believe, you must have experienced also, some of the young people, they even don't know most of the functions, that how to conduct the Google Meet or the meeting on the Zoom or different platform. If this particular technological platform was not there, I would not have impacted the different students into the different countries. And I'm also getting enriched, because by virtue of that introduction, I come to know about their culture, because currently I'm mentoring one student from Kenya. So I just request him that, why don't you teach me some Swahili? So he used to send me into the WhatsApp that good morning in Swahili, and then he translate that this is the things. So that's kind of a experience is there. So I think that yes, the technology has been very much part of the corporate, into the education system and everything, but into the social system. But at the same time, the literacy about technology, uses of technology, let me be very crisp into this word, the uses of technology, that why, how, that is not very much clear. And that is, I think, it is a responsibility of all of us to make the people responsible, because otherwise we will see so many of malpractices by virtue of using this technology.
Absolutely. So very well said. Now, since you are a corporate governance expert, What kind of perspective do you offer the corporate world?
Okay. First of all, let me just correct you. I am not an expert into any of the field because I don't believe that. Because every single day you are learning the new things. You can never be, nobody can be an expert into any of the domain. I know a little bit about that. This is, yes, a great move into the corporate world, especially into the Indian corporate world, towards the globalization, towards India's responsibility or into the corporate governance worldwide. This is a great move. This particular independent directors culture. Now, it depends on, again, I would not say that overnight the situations are going to be changed. But at the same time, at least the policymakers have started, because this 2013, when the old corporate act and Indian Companies Act been overhauled and changed. So this is a revolutionary things been done, that this independent directors inclusion, the criteria, because see, it is not there. The independent directors into the board should act like a mirror. They will be in minority. Everybody knows that. It is not that the independent directors immediately can impact or make the board reverse their decisions or something like that. But for the corporate governance sake, they will work as a mirror. The kind of authority, the kind of power independent directors enjoys, if they want to be in true sense independent, they can at least take the matter to the proper authority, that what is right and what is not so right. Because ultimately, the corporate governance is required just like it is the culture. Because the thing is, it is not only a business unit. Why the corporate governance is required? As simple as that, it is the governance into a family. Why do we have certain rules and regulations into our respective families? Because that develops the cultures. And unless until there is a proper culture, we can never ever expect the right kind of results. The results may come, but is that particular result sustainable? Is that particular results been delivered through a moral way, through a proper process? That is actually the corporate governance. And independent directors are nothing but the custodian for that particular things. So it's basically the responsibility of the independent director, that how independently and judiciously they are going to play their part into the board. But it's a really, in true sense, the welcome move into the corporate world, into the corporate history of Indian corporate history. Not only that, so it's really going to change the world, I would say, the way the business been done.
And Sumit, as you are aware, we are building a community of FaceTime with leaders. It is aimed at cross-pollination of knowledge, something that will lead to a robust corporate governance in the country, and build a community of non-executive directors for its robust framework. What are your thoughts on this?
This is also one of the forum, and I must appreciate that this is something that where the talent are being encouraged, right? Once I am saying that talent are being encouraged means we should find out that who is the best person to address some of the challenges. Because In today's scenario, running the business is not an easy task because it's a very, very challenging in nature. There are political challenges, there are social challenges, there are environmental challenges, there are different challenges the business world is facing. It is not easy like earlier that you have to just see the commerce. It is not only the commerce, there are so many things you have to consider. Now, for the FaceTime, yes, it is a very, very welcoming move that yes, you people are encouraging the corporate experts. You are helping the experienced professionals to join. You are encouraging them to come into this corporate governance so that end of the day, the business world is going to be benefited. And once the business world is positively being impacted, the entire social world, entire humanity is going to be impacted. Just say if some of the organizations follows the right corporate governance, some of the organizations have a good ESG practices, we will get a better product, we will get a better environment, we will get a better social harmony. So you people are doing a fantastic job towards that because it is basically the nurturing the talents and taking the message, taking the expertise to the right forum.
Thank you so much for your in-depth and insightful feedback. And that was a very enlightening and enriching conversation with you. I'm confident that your insights will inspire the future leaders. Thank you, Sumit, for joining us today. Wish you the very best for your future endeavors.